Well, in the last tip, we talked about a shortcut, and a really good shortcut for changing the size of your brush. There's actually two of them, but there's also one for changing the hardness or softness of your brush. So a very hard edge brush is if you come over here to your brush picker, and you can see I've got 100% brush, and I click and I paint. That's a very hard edge brush. If I come over here and I set the hardness to 0%, and I click and I paint. That's a very soft edge brush. They're the same size. They're both 700 pixels. You can see up there in the size, but they look very different. Okay. Well, you can do that with the keyboard shortcut because it is very useful. If you were doing very detailed work, you'd want a hard edge brush. If you're doing something like I'm taking the burn tool here and maybe I just want to paint along some of these edges, I want something softer. I'd want this to fade and blend a little bit. Well, you can do it with the right and left bracket keys, but you got to hold down shift. So shift right bracket increases the hardness, shift left bracket decreases the hardness. Okay, so you can see the preview there. The size stays the same, but that's the hard edged. And then shift left bracket makes it softer. But just like the last shortcut, there's a better way to do this in CS4 and CS5. And that is if you hold down Option, Control, and Command. Okay, Option, Control, Command lets you click and drag back and forth. So watch. Let's get over an area where you can see it a little bit better. If I click and drag to the right, see the hard edge brush. If I click and drag to the left, I get a very soft edge brush. All right, and you'll see the preview up there in the top left corner changing as I do this as well. All right, so instead I'm throwing the command key in there. It was Option Control was the one to make your brush bigger or smaller, and then Option Control Command increases or decreases the hardness of the brush. So get used to those keyboard shortcuts because they really will speed up the time in which you're able to paint and do things inside of Photoshop.